Hello everyone, this is Eric again, and I am doing another Findali video. I'm at the Sandworm Lair right now. I've gotten to the Sandworm Lair a few times. I've never actually gotten through it, so this is, well, I've gotten through it, but I died at the Sandworm Queen at the very end. Some oddities for this dungeon. There are no hallways. There are these worms that you see. The burrowers going all over the place. First time I got here, it was with a mage, and I just started wailing on one of these worms with my spells, and was very worried when it didn't die after I'd done nearly 1,000 damage to it. You can't. I don't think you can kill them, and it's good that you can't, because then you wouldn't be able to go through. Whoa, that was a chain lightning spell. There are lots of breeders in this dungeon. It's fairly straightforward, other than the movement thing. You just follow the burrowers around, unless you have some kind of dig spell, and I don't. Resting, as you can see, is a little buggy. It just freezes up sometimes and just sits there. So I just hit a key and then start resting again. It's kind of annoying. What else? Most of the mobs in here are worms. There's some jellies too, and they're not too bad. Lower levels, you get some sandworm drakes, and those can be kind of tough. They blind you, but they're not too hard to kill from range. But if they do get into melee, they will blind you. And like I said, that's kind of annoying. I just hit myself with a chain lightning spell, and that was not on purpose. Let's see here. I'm making good use of my vision spell, looking for the stairway. You can see the stairs on the minimap are a different color. And I'm also using sense. There are 7 layers to this, or 7 levels to this dungeon, just like the old forest and the maze. But as far as I know, there is no teleport out, unless you're a mage, of course. Haha. And so here I am following the worms around. Most of the time in this dungeon is actually waiting for a worm to get to you, or resting through the buggy rest thing, where you have to stop it. If you're not paying attention, it could just sit there for, I would guess, indefinitely. And it might have something to do with those worms that are going all over the place, setting off traps. You see poison going off all over the place. In this dungeon, if you aren't fast enough when you're following these worms, the burrowers, you can get trapped in the sand. There, I almost got trapped. And you will suffocate to death, unless, of course, you're undead. One advantage of being a skeleton. And like I mentioned before, the burrowers are seemingly indestructible, so you don't need to worry about killing them. I just did a mana thrust through one of them, and wasn't a big deal. I just killed a sandrake there. Even it's kind of interesting, even though oh, there's a sandrake right in front of me. Even though I cast vision, and vision supposedly lights up everything, the light doesn't stay there. So you see what's there, but you don't see, it doesn't stay that way. It's not like the old forest or something like that. In here, chain lightning turns out to be very effective. I'm sure fire flash, I believe it is, would be effective as well. You have to be a little bit careful with that one. It's easier to hit yourself with, although it will take out more enemies. I've never gotten it over level 1. Whoa, there I go, I'm blind. The sandrake blinded me, so here I'm healing just to wait until the blind goes away, and then I kill the sandrake. Now, if I'd been thinking, I would have switched out my into my eco lantern that gives me blindness protection, but I wasn't. I eventually do think better of it, and I do equip it. My thought was that I still want the extra line of sight, but I do get blinded a few times in here. I guess another thing that I could have done is I could have used the sense. Oh, there's another blind from the sandrake. But I decided, well, he's probably standing right there. I'll mana thrust him, and I did, and I got lucky and hit him, instead of just trying to heal through it while he's attacking me. So I'm wandering around. I've got, this is level 6, so I just need to get down one more level to get to the bottom. I picked up a few staves just to see what they were. I doubt that I'll find anything that will replace the Angmar staff from the first dungeon. It's an artifact and all that. Let's see, I've got my con up to 15, I've got 203 hit points. That gives me some padding just in case, although it does take a while to heal in this place because of the glitchy resting stuff. So now I'm going to be casting Sense more often, quite a bit more often, because I don't want to be caught unawares of the Sandworm Queen. She's a summoner and she summons breeders, which isn't as bad as a summoner that summons summoners, but it's still pretty bad. It can get overwhelming, especially since there aren't any corridors in this level. You're basically out in the open, unless you let the tunnel collapse on your head, which I think is what happened when I fought the Sandworm Queen. So it gave me some protection, but not too much. So another sense there. The resolution prevents me from, that I'm playing at for this video, prevents me from seeing too far on the screen. If I had a higher resolution, I'd be able to see more of make more use out of that sense spell. And I think, yep, just leveled up. Yay, more con. And let's see, I think what I do I decide that I need to get some arcane power. That'll give me more spell power. Very useful, so that I'll be killing things faster. So there's the queen. There's the tunnel collapsing on my head. I just got rid of the queen, and so she wasn't too hard. She resisted a freeze spell though, but it's not that big of a deal. She doesn't have very many hit points. And I got a pulsing organ. And so I've heard that this is how you unlock the Wormic class, which is very exciting. And they were right. Yay, Wormics. Very exciting. That's the other wilder class. You get to use the worm power, and it also gives you stat points. I think it gave me stat points, but it definitely gave me talent points, which is exciting, and I put those into more arcane power. Yes, please. And apparently you can't add more talent category points to your currently known talent categories to make them more effective. So that's it. I'm gonna teleport out to Anglewind and get rid of my junk that I've picked up along the way, and ID some stuff as well. I don't know if I think I got, oh yeah, I've got some rings here too. I'm going to keep that ring of arcane power. I also got a ring, energizing steel ring, which is cool. Gives you 1 MP every turn. Very useful for a mage. Lowers your resting time, and it also lets you have a little bit more endurance in battle as far as slinging spells goes. And so next dungeon will be Tol Falas, and I will see you there in the Island of Dread. Goodbye.